Well, la dee da.
Hello, gang, and welcome to Displaying-Model-Behaviour. You know me, and this is...
Juanita. Hi.
This is Juanita. I thought I'd bring her in for this little news episode just because it's only one item.
Yes.
And it's always more fun to geek out about something with someone that I can explain it all to because... Baby!
Yes.
Baby. What were you doing in 1995?
Maybe trying to figure out the world, how to walk. I was quite young.
That was a difficult question.
Yeah,
I didn't
remember
gauge
that.
well. Well, you know what I was doing?
I have no clue.
I would know. I was in the arcades playing Capcom's X-Men Children of the Atom fighting video game.
Okay.
It was a halcyon time. It was a good time to be alive. And 30 years later, we are still reminiscing about how badass those fighting games were. And in fact, this year marks the 30th anniversary.
Oh.
So we've been getting a whole bunch of action figures based off of the designs of those characters. And Marvel Legends, you know, the brand that this channel was built on, they've been doing a whole bunch of Capcom-style characters. But there's another, as we would say in fighting games, a new challenger approaches. SH Figuarts are a Japanese toy manufacturer.
Okay.
So very close to home for us.
Yes.
And they are now making Capcom-style X-Men characters, which is big. Because the whole problem for me, for a lot of people, for Marvel fans, is that Marvel Legends are great, most of the time. But they're kind of the only game in town. There's a few other manufacturers, don't get me wrong. We got Mafex, also a Japanese company, Revoltech, also a Japanese company. So there's a lot of imports. Well, there's a couple of imports, but they are more expensive and the selection and roster are few and far between. So SH Figuarts diving back into comic book style Marvel characters, it's kind of a big deal. And this Cyclops, I don't mind saying, he looks gorgeous. He looks so good because he's the classic 90s style costume. And of course, everyone's always going to love what they grew up with.
That's true.
So of course I'm going to believe that the Jim Lee style yellow and blue Cyclops is peak Scott Summers. But Scott Summers himself has been having a bit of a renaissance lately.
Okay.
Because have you ever watched the X-Men cartoon when you were growing up? Are you familiar with it?
Yeah.
Cyclops always got a bit of a hard time in that cartoon because he was just the straight-laced leader of the X-Men.
He was, yes.
And he always took a backseat to Wolverine, who was always, just cooler,
He's that
basically.
guy.
And that was the same in the movies as well. Hugh Jackman just kind of, walking all over.
That guy.
Yeah, he's that guy.
He's that guy.
Well, Cyclops has recently, don't call it a comeback, but over the last year or so, Cyclops has been like having a career renaissance.
Okay.
And there was a new Disney Plus X-Men animated show.
Really?
Which continued the 90s cartoon.
Oh,
it was
I didn't
called
know that.
X-Men 97 because it continued from the last episode, which aired in 97. And Cyclops was just put front and center as like the most badass character, even with Wolverine kind of taking a little bit of a backseat to him.
Okay.
And Cyclops is just like, to me, my X-Men. And he has all these big hero moments. So this is a good time to be a Cyclops fan. And now SH Figuarts are hitting us with this brand new figure going up for pre-order. July 1st. We don't have a price yet, but because this is a Japanese company, it's going to be an import figure, probably a little bit more expensive. I'm guessing around about $60 maybe. He ain't cheap. But you do get a whole bunch of lovely effects with him. You got the different faces by the looks of things, the different optic blast, power effects. Oh, baby's gonna... Yeah, there you go. You can see here. We got some pictures up on the screen for you to take a little perusal at. And you can see that he's got the different expressions. And even just looking at the face here, you can see it's quite Japanified.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's quite anime style. One thing people already have a few misgivings about is the style of the articulation, because it does look a little bit like he's wearing a yellow thong. And once you see that, it is quite difficult to unsee it. But you know what? I'm willing to look past it.
I'm not mad at it.
I know. It's a choice, isn't it?
I'm not mad at it.
It is a choice. So a few folks have poked fun at that, which I understand. SH Figuarts, that is their very common style of articulation. Thongs, but the thing is, it's very difficult to do pants well in action figures.
Okay.
Because, and when I say pants, I mean like underpants.
Yeah, I know.
Because there's a company called McFarlane Toys. Their way around it, because you need the room to maneuver and the articulation for the figure. They have like a solid, well, not a solid, but a complete soft rubber piece that kind of forms this, which gets away from that thong articulation look, but it also looks like they're wearing a big rubber nappy. So there's no easy way around it, but you just have to do the best you can. I think Figuarts, it's going to look absolutely fine because everything else looks great. You got a metallic kind of blue paint job, and yeah, I just love that. Ah!
No, but it looks correct. It looks very accurate.
It looks
That's
beautifully
the only
accurate.
Cyclops
Yeah.
that I know.
Yeah, I mean, Cyclops, like so many X-Men, has had a bajillion different costume
but
designs
this
over
is
the
Cyclops
years.
that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even they, in SH Figuarts, know the market they're going for because they've got him in all these poses for these promo shots straight from the game. So these are all moves taken from the arcade game.
Yeah.
And they're clearly just appealing to the masses. They're giving the people what they want. And you gots to give the people what they want. So unfortunately, any of the other yellow and blue Cyclopses from Marvel Legends or even Mafex that might be in your collection, honestly, I think they gots to go. They gots to go. Because this might be the definitive Cyclops, except for one point.
What?
You know what it might be?
What?
Scale, baby. It's all about the scale. Because SH Figuarts, sometimes they can be a squeak. Just a little squeak. Just a little squeak. Smaller than your average Marvel Legend. So some people who are very focused, and nothing wrong with that, who are very focused on the scale and everything matching the way it should do, it might not work. Because I like to mix up all my different brands. I got Mezco, Mafex, Revoltech, Figuarts, Select, Marvel Legends, all smooshed in together. I love that. Because then I feel like I have the definitive version of every character. But then, like, it's not going to look good. If my exactly, if my Mezco Wolverine is taller than my SH Figuarts Cyclops.
That's true. Because in the comics, if I'm correct, Wolverine's shorter than everyone else.
Oh yeah, Wolverine is classically shorter. Don't let Hugh Jackman fool you. All right, Wolverine ain't 6'3". Okay, not even in lifts.
Okay.
Which we discussed is not fair for guys to do on a first date. Claiming 6 foot.
I will discuss that at a different
All right,
time.
that's a different video for another time.
Yes.
All right, just be honest. So yeah. Oh, and actually, you know what? In the comics, they actually kind of hinted towards Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean Grey being like a throuple. They were, they were
that.
They were sort of leaning into that. It was a whole like controversy, which Marvel were just doing to court controversy. You know, it gets clicks, but still, they've been getting wild in the comics over the last few years. But that's why a lot of people like, I don't like what's happening nowadays. I want to go back in time to the good old days of the 90s when everything was great, nothing was wrong. No, I get that a lot on the channel. People are like, oh, I wish things were like they were in the 80s or the 90s, or depending on how old the person is, like, back in the 70s when everything was great and nothing was wrong. But genuinely, the 90s were the greatest time to be alive. So yeah, this is very exciting. We've rattled on too long, but I like getting excited about things. So as I said, going to be up for pre-order on July 1st, going to be releasing around about November this year. So pretty soon. So a lot to look forward to. Also, you've got to bear in mind that this is hopefully the first of many, many more to come. Because there's another YouTube creator, which, you know, I don't like the fact there are other creators on YouTube, but, you know, it is what it is, who named Kaiju Daddy, who's a really, really good creator, actually. And he had a leak, a source on the inside, saying these were coming. So Kaiju Daddy, shout out to you from a few weeks ago because you got the scoop.
Yeah.
You were absolutely right. So yeah, I'm very excited for this. I think I might be upgrading my Cyclopses at the end of the year, and hopefully we're going to get a whole bunch more of these as well. So gang, thank you very much for watching.
Yes.
Juanita, thank you so much for letting me just geek out to you all about this.
I love it.
Yeah, I have a good time with this. So gang, until next time. Oh, wait, hang on. Is there anything else I have to say? No, we're good. Until next time. Keep displaying model behavior. I'm running away from home. My dad won't get me a Model Behavior channel membership. Oh man, that sucks. I don't want to live in that house anymore. I'm gonna hit the road and... Hey, did you just say that your dad refuses to get you a Model Behavior channel membership? How about I go over to your house and beat your dad around the head until he agrees to get you a membership? Oh man, I can't believe I didn't think of that. Yeah, just say I'll crack open a can of whoop-ass on him if he refuses. Oh man, you'd do that, Bumblebee? Come on, let's go beat your dad like he owes me money.
The Transformers!
Big time.